Welcome back once again to howtocookgreatfood.com. If you haven't already, please click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, we're going to make shepherd's pie. Or is it cottage pie? Cottage pie or shepherd's pie? Either way, it's absolutely delicious. A great favourite of mine as a kid, and still to this day, I truly love that. Let's get on with it. Okay, let's take a look at what we have here then. By the way, all of the amounts are going to be in the text below. So, your ground meat. Now, if you're using ground beef, you're going to be making a cottage pie. If you're using ground lamb, you're going to be making a shepherd's pie. Everything else is the same. I've got a nice bit of fresh rosemary that I want to put in there. By the way, I'm using beef. 4 tomatoes, regular sized tomatoes. If you want, you can use a can of tomatoes, which is like a 400 ml, which is about the same. I think the fresh are nicer. 1 onion chopped, a little bit of carrot, a little bit of celery, 100 grams of tomato paste, a tablespoon of garlic, and I've got like 2 teaspoons there of thyme. A little bit of oil, salt and pepper. That's going to sort out our meat sauce or the underlayer. Okay, so this is super easy. I've got some oil in there. I'm using olive oil. You can use different oil if you want. What we're going to do is drop in our onion. We're going to get that little bit of carrot in there. That little bit of celery, which I think is wonderful in it. And we're going to drop in our ground meat. We're on a fairly lively heat, and we're going to go for about 4 minutes just to get this on its way. Very, very simple, super delicious. I used to have this a lot as a kid. I still find it to be a really big treat. It's in about 4 minutes. So 4 minutes gone. Starting to change colour, the ground meat. We're now going to pop in that garlic, the thyme, or some other different dried herb can also work. Salt, black pepper, and stay on this fairly lively high heat for about another 4 minutes, stirring often. Fabulous stuff. Very simply, we're now going to add in those fresh tomatoes. And if you're using fresh tomatoes like me, try and use a nice ripe, juicy tomato, because what we want to do is continue cooking this on the high heat for about another 4 to 5 minutes. And we want those tomatoes to break down and become a little bit mushy. I just lost one there. Right. High heat, 4 or 5 minutes. Stir it every now and then. We're looking to break the tomatoes down. So as you can see, the tomatoes have broken down now. Give off a little bit of moisture. I'm now going to add in that tomato paste. Now, if you wanted, you could add a little stock cube in here, like a beef cube, maybe, an oxo, bit of bovril, even a spoonful of Marmite could kind of work. I've seen that done before. I'm going to go straight like this. Just going to pop that little bit of rosemary. Don't know what I'm talking about these days. Right. We're going to go for about another 4 to 5 minutes, and that's it. Now, you don't want it too thin, too soupy like. Nice and thick. I find this sort of consistency actually is just about right. What I'm going to do now is peel some spuds, get those potatoes ready. I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, so I've just turned the heat off of that. That's beautiful. I'm super happy. Nice consistency. Let's move on to our potatoes. So, large pot, cold water, potatoes, peeled and washed. Doesn't matter what kind of size you cut them really. We're going to get some salt into the water. We're going to bring them to the boil and boil away until they're super soft so that we can mash them. And when I mean super soft, it means you can put your knife in, and when you pull it out, the knife comes out, the potato will drop off, I don't know, 15 minutes once it reaches boiling point. See you then. Okay, knife in. Nothing's coming out, is it? Soft as can be. Okay, we're going to drain them off, get rid of all the water, get them back into the empty pan. Okay, so super soft, drained, put back into the pan. Now, we need to mash them. Now, if you want, you can use one of these guys, you know, you can put it in and mash through there. Or, which I'm going to use, I'm going to go for the old traditional masher. Now, we're going to be adding butter, milk, and black pepper to this, but please do not put it in yet. What you need to do first is really, really get in there and mash it. Bit of elbow grease, as we call it. Back in a bit. Okay, so these are looking good. Now, we've probably got too much mashed potato here for what we want, but as a nice English boy, you can never have too much mashed potato, so I can use that for something else, which I definitely will. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to get some black pepper in there. And then we're going to add some butter. Like a big knob of butter like that, as we call it, a big knob. Right, the milk, don't put that in yet. First, let's mash this through for another few minutes. Great exercise this is. Right, okay, now, a little bit of milk in there, or cream. We're just going to slowly work that in. And then wooden spoon and give it a mix around, and you've got some lovely, beautiful mash here. And like I say, I really do think we've got too much, and I'm so happy that we have. Now, if you wanted, some people would put some chopped onion in here, some chopped parsley, some sweet corn. You can do all that if you want, but we're going to go straight like this. So the meat sauce is done, the potatoes are done. Let's get this together. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is your oven. Get your oven on. We're on a nice hot oven. We're going to put this in. Get your oven on maximum heat. Everything that we've got here is cooked. All we're doing is bringing it together, so there's no sort of actual baking time here, is there? Right, glass, metal, or ceramic, doesn't matter which of those you use, long as it can go in the oven. As you can see, I've got the meat sauce in there. It's nice and thick. We're now going to add potato. So it's about 50-50 actually. There's a nice thick meat sauce, and I'm going to go nice and thick with the potato. You can really play around with this if you want. Okay, and as you can see, it's nice and kind of lumpy. Do you know what I mean? When I say that, I mean like peaks and troughs. Don't flatten it out, because those bits that are sticking up are the bits that are going to catch in the oven and give us a nice kind of crumbliness. Now, I'm going to put some cheese on. Today, I'm going to be using some mozzarella cheese. You can be using cheddar cheese. In fact, you can use any cheese you want, I suppose. I'm going to go for a bit of mozzarella. I don't have any cheddar. If I had cheddar, I'd probably use cheddar, I think. But I've got this mozzarella. On that goes. And to that, I'm just going to add a little bit of paprika just on the top, just for a nice little bit of colour and effect. Right, that's going to go in my oven. It's probably going to go in for about 10 to 12 minutes maybe. Like I say, high heat. Get it in. You know what we're looking for. See you in a minute. And just a point of interest, I've got loads of potato left over, so that's beautiful with some bangers or sausage and mash. Can make some fish cakes with that. Bubble and squeak. Bubble and squeak's a wonderful thing. That's onions and cabbage and stuff all mixed in there and then fried. Yeah, can you have too much mashed potato in your life? I think not. And there you go. Looks absolutely beautiful, doesn't it? Some people won't even put cheese on, by the way. You can just use just the potato if you want. I just like a bit of cheese on there. Absolutely delicious. One of my favourites. Used to love that as a kid, I tell you. I still do. I'm really going to tuck into that. Hope you enjoy that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, please. Do give us a thumbs up. That helps us out a great deal. And more importantly, please leave a message. We do like to hear from you. We want to know that you're well, you're safe. We'll see you soon. Lots of love.